Well, I'm sure by now all of you are aware that Woodmo are the online expert when it comes to spare parts. And the best point is that they have the spare parts for all vehicles available in India. So even if your car is out of production now, maybe you have a last generation model, even then they have the spare part available. They have the entire catalog. And the best point is that they have the same spare part from a host of different component makers, which gives you great flexibility in the pricing overall. Well, if you're in the market for your first ever luxury car, you want a car which offers you great opulence, great luxury, and it's going to be a first ever luxury car, then the car today is a car of choice for you. This, of course, is the all new C-Class, and Mercedes call this the baby S-Class, and not without reason. It looks like the S-Class from the outside. The interiors are very similar to that car, and the features also are more or less the same. But we'll talk about those things a little later in the video. Right now, let me quickly give you a walk around of the car and tell you its main highlights on the outside. But before that, here's a small request. Please follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook as well. And if you come here for the first time, then please subscribe to this channel. And if you've already seen this channel before, then do tell your friends about it. Let's start with the new baby S-Class. Well, so let's quickly show you the rear end of the car first. Now, these sleek lights are exactly the same style that you get on the S-Class, and they've got the same kind of design, same kind of silhouette. The rear of the car looks very similar. You get this chrome at the lower part. There's no diffuser-like design, and of course, you get these fake vents at the back, which give it a sporty touch. Of course, you also get these sensors, and as I said, it does look very similar in the department from the back. But if you see the overall design, it's very similar in terms of the styling to the S-Class. Now let's see the side profile of this car and then the front of the car. If you see the side profile, you get this little bit of a sloping roof line, and even this portion, if you put a S-Class next to it, you'll see door size is slightly smaller, but it's very similar. Now these wheels are Michelin primacy tires, and they really offer you very good grip, but we'll talk about that a little later. You can see here 225 and R17s, and really this is something that a lot of buyers will appreciate, because these are high performance tires and there's no cost cutting over there from Mercedes, and it shouldn't be because it's an expensive car. The front end of the car really is where this car is identical to the S-Class. We've already shown you the front, but let's just quickly have a look at it. The grille on this car is, you get two different grills for the petrol and for the diesel. And this, of course, has the slats. The other one has those studs in it, stud-like design. So that's something which is unique between the petrol and diesel cars. And, of course, the projector lamps, high-performance LED performance lamps, which give it a solid throw of light in the dark. What do you think of the looks? I think it looks very well balanced, very proportionate, very royal and very regal-looking car. I think no other car in this segment can match the royal looks of the Mercedes C-Class. Now let's jump inside and show you the interiors of this car. Well, so I'm in the cabin now of the new C-Class, and the first word which comes to mind as soon as I enter the cabin is absolutely stunning. It's a fantastic place to be, fabulous place to be, and what I really appreciate about this cabin is the quality, the sheer quality levels. Everything feels very premium, very opulent, very high class, and very rich in terms of the design as well as the quality. The materials used are first rate, and the highlight, of course, is this big 11.9-inch screen, which has the MBUX app, and you can download the app on your phone like I have done today, and all you need to do is just use your finger here for your finger to scan, and system to find out who is actually inside the car. And once it does, because I've already logged in, it knows that I'm driving the car, and then of course it'll do everything according to your own settings. You can of course choose the maps, you can use other devices over here, a lot of apps already in the car, and you can of course see the settings, see what kind of lights you want inside the car, the ambient lighting inside, and you can change the color of the lights. You can choose from a variety of colors, and at the moment I'm in a mood to use green, and I'll use this green. It's color number 41, and of course you get the choice of 64 colors inside the cabin. So that's something which is very cool about this car. I really like it. And the ambient lighting lights up over here. You can't see it right now, and it lights up around the door panels and also around the AC vents. And of course the one around the AC vents can also change. When you reduce the temperature, it turns to blue, and of course when you bump up the temperature, as you can see, it turns to red. So that's a very fancy touch, and something which a lot of kids in your family will appreciate. You can also check the settings, the various functions, and check a lot of systems on this car through this app. It's a flawless system, works very well. There's absolutely no lag in it, and as you can see, it just works flawlessly. There's no lag, there's no issues at all, just beautiful to use. What's also beautiful is this wood finish over here. It's completely genuine wood. It's not a fake wood, unlike a lot of other cars. And this is of course taken from the S-Class Maybach version, which is even more expensive than the regular S-Class. So really Mercedes have thought of everything. Completely digital dials which look very fancy, very crisp display, very HD high definition display, and nothing wrong about it. And even the reverse camera, where a lot of people cut costs in this car, is very high definition. Seat comfort is very good, generally very good seats, good support for your under thighs. Side bolsters are there to give you extra bit of support when you're pushing this kind of corners, and a lot of places to keep your stuff. A couple of beverages can be held over here. One USB type C charging point here, a little bit of place here, and of course this big box over here which also has 2 USB, and of course felt lining, because in case you keep some stuff here and you're pushing this kind of corners, if it rolls around it will not do cutter putter, because it's all lined up nicely in felt. So overall, what do I think about this car? Well, it's a fantastic product. It's a beautiful place to be in. Steering wheel has all the settings on it, and you can really do a host of stuff just from the steering wheel, because a lot of touch features are there, and everything is touch and feel. It looks really nice, really fancy to operate, and I just love the cockpit of the car. 10 out of 10 to the engineers and the designers of the Mercedes C-Class cabin. They really do deserve all the kudos that they are getting. It really does feel like a miniature version of the S-Class. Now let's jump in the back seat and see how good that really is. Well, so you're now in the cabin of the C-Class. If you're a chauffeur-driven owner, then this is the place to be. Now, seat comfort is quite good, and you sit at a nice 90-degree angle to the hip and knee. And the scob also is quite generous in terms of its width as well as its support. The only thing is that the transmission tunnel here is really very huge. It's a huge tunnel, and that means that you can only use it as a two-seat at the back. Third person will fit because the seat is wide, but you'll have to really struggle for his legs. So that's the only issue I have with the tunnel over here. But yes, most of the people who are going to buy this car will really be using it as a two-seater, not a three-seater. So I think it's quite okay for people who will use it. AC vents at the back. You also get this little tray where you can keep your cell phone, and of course a pocket at the back over here to keep your odds and ends. And of course the sunroof is split. There's one at the front and one at the back. It's a small one, so you can open two of these sunroofs differently. The mirrors are nice and big. The windows rather nice and big. And of course, you also get this blind over here, which you can use. But again, I think that, because of this transmission tunnel and the seat angle also could have been slightly more reclined. It's not bad. Overall, it's a good place to be, but it could have been slightly better because of this, and maybe the incline angle could be better. I would still give it a good score of 8 out of 10 because the ambience inside the car, the overall fit and finish, comfort-wise, everything is spot on. Now let's jump to the main bits, the driving bits, and see how this car is to drive. Well, so let's talk about the driving bits of the Mercedes C-Class now. Now, this car comes with a petrol and with a diesel, and both the diesel and the petrol are supremely refined. It doesn't matter which one you choose. If you want sheer refinement levels, if you want the best cabin in terms of pure isolation, then this car really has it. The cabin isolation is fantastic. Once you sit inside the cabin, you really are cocooned from everything else out the outside. There's no tire noise, there's no wind whistle, and of course there's no engine noise. In fact, this petrol motor that we're driving at the moment is so refined that at standstill we couldn't tell if it was actually running or not running. It is so refined, it is so quiet, and I'm not exaggerating, it is the truth. Once you test it out for yourself, I'm sure that you will agree with me. What's also impressive is the ride comfort. It just feels like the S-Class. It glides over the worst of worst roads, and it just feels very smooth and just knocks off all the bumps and potholes and all the badly patched up roads without any fuss. So that's something which a lot of buyers will also appreciate and like about this car. And what you'll also like is the fact that this car offers you a very good ride, especially on the highway. If you take it out on the highway, this car just feels very rock solid, very stable, and definitely feels very reassuring and more stable than your ex-girlfriend did. So that's something which a lot of buyers also really appreciate, especially those of you who travel a lot on the highway on a very regular basis. What else is there to like about this car? Well, the petrol engine comes with a battery pack, which makes it a mild hybrid engine or a mild hybrid technology car. And what that means is that at standstill on the signal, the engine does cut itself off and switch itself off automatically, which really aids fuel efficiency quite a lot. And these are things which really, a lot of customers care about nowadays, especially when petrol is costing about 105 rupees in the Delhi NCR region, and in Mumbai and some other cities already 100. What you'll also like, of course, is the fact that you get different driving modes to choose from. The dynamic setting here can really alter the characteristic of the car. So if you choose comfort mode, the steering wheel becomes a little, heavy, and then of course the engine and gearbox also become a little aggressive compared to the eco mode. Then of course you can choose the sport mode where everything becomes really aggressive and the steering really does become very heavy. It does add a lot of weight to it. And of course there's the individual setting also which you can choose, where you can really choose between what kind of mode you want for the steering wheel as well as for the engine and gearbox. So these are things which definitely give this car a lot of overall personality, a lot of character, and these are things which I think a lot of buyers will really appreciate about the Mercedes C-Class. It offers you exemplary ride, and as I said, the engine performance really is very good. It's very quick-witted. The gearbox is very quick-witted. It's a 9-speed unit. It's a 9-speed automatic gearbox. It really is very quick in terms of responsiveness, in terms of overall gear shifts, and both upshifts and downshifts are seamless. You don't even get to know milliseconds it takes. If you use it manually, it just takes milliseconds before you really know when the gears are shifting. So that's all something which a lot of buyers will truly appreciate and enjoy about the C-Class. Overall, it's a stellar package. It's a wonderful package, and really no chinks in the armory. Yes, some you might say, how is it in terms of the handling compared to the BMW 3 Series? I have to say that the handling is sharp, but not as sharp as the one on the BMW. That said, though, the BMW suspension is very stiff, overtly stiff, and it can feel uncomfortable sometimes. This one has a very good mix of ride comfort, agility, as well as overall drivability, which makes it definitely the better overall package. As a package, definitely it has the advantage, and I think that it really is a car which you should look forward to. It really is a baby Benz. It really is a baby S-Class in the truest sense of the word. Well, so if in the market for your first ever luxury car and you want something which offers you great opulence, which offers you great features as well as great build quality, then this is a car you should definitely keep on the top of your shortlist. It really is a fantastic product in terms of driving bits, it's fantastic in terms of the overall luxury, and definitely it's worth your money. I'll recommend a strong buy on this car and give it a strong score of 92 out of 100. It really is a miniature version of the S-Class, which in itself is the best car in the world. Bye for now, and thanks so much for watching.